Hi, everyone. A quick postscript from this morning's discussion of the Abrego Garcia situation. As I've said, I think the administration really is playing with fire and is misconstruing the orders from not just the district court, but the Supreme Court, and besides which is just blithely, nonchalantly committing an unbelievable offense of just, absolute nightmarish, horrible proportions in what they've done to Abrego Garcia. And in particular, I've said that while they're trying to say you can't tell us what to do, even step one, with a foreign country, that's just not right based on what the Supreme Court said and even the law, which while it does give the executive some ultimate authority to say this is real core foreign policy stuff, I don't think gives them a free ticket to ignore a constitutional violation. All that is by way of setting up a new development that's pretty ugly. An easy way out to save face and to still be able to claim victory, because their current stance is, it's all up to El Salvador now. And President Bukele would have been if the President Bukele of El Salvador announced this morning when he visited the White House, I've decided in my sovereign capacity, and nobody can make me do it, but I've decided that it's a sympathetic case. We're going to release Abrego Garcia from custody. He said the exact opposite, and he said it emphatically. Of course, we're not going to let him go, said Bukele, and that obviously was pre-planned and engineered with Trump. So he'll do whatever they say. Will Bukele, he's really tin pot dictator who wants to be on Trump's good side. So they have actually ginned him up to make it sound as if he wants in his sovereign capacity to keep Abrego Garcia in prison, which they're going to use. The administration's going to try to use as a shield against the coming insistence by the district court judge and potentially Court of Appeals and Supreme Court to remedy their horrendous constitutional violation. So they've really opted to try to draw a line in the sand and have the pretense that it's all El Salvador refusing in their sovereign capacity to make it as hard as it possibly can be. And that is a big development that portends at a minimum real clashes and going forward, and not simply the judge says doom and they say no. The judge says, I want to see the person here and what they've asked. I want to know what they've spoken to. And the administration says, you can't know that. Emergency, Fourth Circuit, Supreme Court, and it goes up. And I think they back her until the administration really has a credible case of some, core foreign policy issue. But they are obviously trying to gin that up, do everything they can, again, to keep, and to essentially commit an innocent man to life in prison under the most barbaric conditions. And those conditions, of course, done completely by the United States and done completely by their own screw up. So this is really about as pitched a line and conflict between the judiciary and the executives as it comes. And man, oh man, it's going to be ugly and incendiary for days or weeks, as plainly the administration is digging in and making it seem like some foreign policy outrage to try to commandeer the El Salvadoran president, when of course what it is they could do it easily, could the United States, and they've basically, it has to be, it seems to me, arranged with him for him to take that position and make it all the harder. That's the idea anyway, for U.S. courts to tell the United States to undertake actions to facilitate his not return to the United States, as they falsely put it in their papers, his release from custody in El Salvador. So this is way, way ugly and way, way impacted and way, way, way not over. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.